Hey, what's going on there, YouTube people in YouTube land? I wanted to do a video today on what's in my tool bag for my motorcycle. So, on a lot of bikes, you're going to see a tool bag, something like this, maybe on the forks or the side of the bike or the back of the bike. It's a cruiser style, but this is just a carrier bag, and I don't actually remove it. It's actually tied up onto the forks, but what's in it is relevant to this old bike. This is an 88 Yamaha Virago, very old bike, vintage, kind of old and crusty. Yamaha makes a super quality product. This was a really neglected bike, and it's got a lot of really good nuts and bolts on it. They use high quality stuff. Japanese use high quality stuff. However, I still, it's 37 years old. It breaks down, things happen, and it's carbureted. First of all, I only carry stuff that's really relevant to the specific bike, to the problems that it's going to have. So that's mainly carburetors and nuts and bolts and fittings coming loose. And so what I do is I carry enough to remove my carburetors. So I've got some 10 millimeter or some quarter-inch stuff here and extensions, because on this specific bike I have to go through the front of the bike to get to the bolts on the inside of those boots to remove my carbs. And then it's going to be a cleaning job. So it's going to be a multi-screwdriver for pulling things apart. This is for the carburetor. However, it can also do my headlight and some smaller stuff, tail lights, adjustments. I have multi bits in the back here that pop out. So, and that's a Picante or Pickwick. Sorry, Pickwick. It's a really great Canadian brand. I really like them. And then I always have, this is a 17 mil. It's for my risers because I have Amazon risers on this bike specifically. They're straight ones and with 1/2 inch bolts. So I keep a 1/2 inch around. I think that's the 1/2 inch. That's 12 mil. This is the 1/2 inch. And I have a 14 mil, 10 mil, and 12 mil for putting my factory ones on. And on this bike, it uses a lot of, these are Allen keys, and it uses a lot of Allen keys around it, like socket head bolts. However, I just use this for removing the seat. And if I were ever to have to put my factory risers back on, they use one of these in the top. So I know it sounds really funny, but and then I have a 3/8 inch wrench, and for some of these, like the 10 mil. The 10 mil is huge on this bike for adjustments and all sorts of stuff. And then I also have spare spark plugs and a 12 and a 14 mil wrench, a mini pair of pliers, and I usually have a Leatherman. And then this is a tire gauge, so for different temperatures. Usually the summer's fine. It's the late winter, early spring, and the late summer, fall is when you're going to find temperature changes. And then we've got extension, and this is a Husky bag. This is what it all goes into. It's 2 compartments, and it's got some zip ties in it, and it's got a carabiner on the end. But this is just a nylon bag. It's made by Husky from Home Depot, and everything kind of organizes in there, rolls up, and flattens down. And then I put it in the bag on the bike, on the front of the bike. And now this here is a shock adjuster. This is a shock adjustment wrench tool for a Sportster. However, it works on my shocks. And I can make this very, very soft and squishy for the back roads, and I can stiffen it up for when my wife rides with me, or when I just took a trip. I had gas and spare clothes and stuff strapped to the sissy bar, and I may have needed to just put some more weight on the front of the bike by stiffening it up by an extra click. And especially when it rains, you can lose traction on the front if the rear is too squishy and sagged out. You're taking weight off the front. So this guy is for a Sportster, but it works on the Yamaha. It just grabs that little thing there, and you can just click it either way, and get your desired couple clicks. Will get you your desired setting for your conditions. Now you may wonder, where'd you get all this? Did you steal it from your toolboxes over there? No, the answer is no. I go to secondhand shops, and that's where I get all my sockets from, and all these spares. And these I've replaced, but I mostly get them from bargain shops and pawn shops. They have big bins, and they're usually a buck a piece or 50 cents a piece, or like five for $4, five for $3.50, stuff like that for the sockets. Like usually these wrenches are about $3 or $5 for the little one, and $5 for the big one. And so I go to secondhand stores and I just customize my tool pouch for exactly the bike I want, and that's where I get my stuff from. And now I've got the KLR as well. I'm going to do a separate video, but I'm going to go through my tool bags on that, and that's generally got oil in one side and tools specific to the body for that, but that's for another time. But it's kind of similar but kind of different. So anyways, what's in my tool bag is enough to change out light bulbs, fix my carbs, change spark plugs, make serious repairs. I will say, because there are a couple Amazon parts on here, I've got a Chinese rectifier on there, and you need a 10 mil to get it off, and then on the other side it's bolted down. And I keep an extra rectifier in case that burns up, and I also keep my factory risers, and all these tools. Take those ones off and put my factory risers back on the road if I strip one of those out. So I put about 1,000 clicks on these, on shakedown rides, trips, local rides, hour in, hour out, and I did about a 4-hour riding trip on day before Father's Day in 2025. And I'm just waiting for them to strip out. They're not. They're rock solid. They're great, but you never know. So with this old antique, I basically keep enough around to get me off the road, get me fixed up, change bulbs, look at my battery, get my seat off, do whatever little stuff I can on the side of the road. Fix a fouling carburetor, a foul spark plug issue, mess with my carburetor, lift my tank up off if I have to lift off and get to the top of the carburetor. And this is how I do it, and I get it 90% of the stuff. That screwdriver was brand new, and then that wrench was from Amazon for a Harley. However, everything else is 98%, 99% of the stuff is from a secondhand store. So that's what's in my tool bag on this motorcycle specifically.